Good morning, good morning. Today we're going to be taking a look at XRP and a little tour day markets. So, all right, let's start with some interesting confluences here. So we've got ourselves XRP, right? Looking at this as being a full measured wave one potential move. If so, we came back down, hit the 786, swept underneath that level, and bam, popped right off of it. Wave count that we identified yesterday, we had a little bit of chop in here. We ended up completing a larger fifth wave than I anticipated, just, from eyeballing it. We knew there was probably one more rollover per the video, but we got that extra stuff all afternoon. And then narratives manifest and excitement results, and we have very technical fib levels that we're finding ourselves pushed under with a B, C completed count moving forward. So, all right, so we've got ourselves some good price action that we expected. Market just opened, and we're expecting a little bit of a back test just to kind of play out here. Maybe a little bit lower back down into this region if we're lucky. But anything down here should be hopefully resulting in price action go higher soon. So now S&P 500, we completely discussed about how the measured move came in for the 649. We actually swept in pre-market below that level and Friday, of course, but then we closed above it, slept below, and then bam, we just popped right off of the news narrative for this larger flat structure that played out here as a mid-range correction that now S&P has finally caught up to the rest of the market, and we're looking for additional entries to play out here moving forward. So S&P's now done the corrective move with the reaction at the level that we thought. We've got ourselves XRP working through this level and getting ready to break out, which is wonderful. And finally, this was interesting. I thought we would bounce over to some other views. We knew the liquidity was to the upside. We still have more sitting here at this. So if we're lucky, we'll get a push back down to 139er, 140-ish. Get down there for XRP, just a quick sweep to take out these late longs. And then from there we go, and we shoot back up and we take all these guys out with that noise and everything. Now, what's really fascinating is we bounce over to XRP itself. So XRP itself ultimately this is the VLO data. So to explain this real quick, here's your price action for XRP here at the top. We've got the open interest, which is healthy below this green line. This is the daily candles that we're watching. So the open interest for longs has completely collapsed. Spot buying we saw a peak of spot buying that stepped in here, but nothing really major since. So the hope being now that either spot buying continues, but even though we had open interest falling, so you had a rise in open interest and then a collapse in it as they destroyed the longs, now you have price action kind of sideways moving, spot buying pushing down, open interest falling. So this is actually absorption here of coins occurring at this level. So expectations at this point is that we have a little mini move back up again, but right now there is no leverage, or if the leverage that is here is extremely healthy. And you can see that these resets tend to come in, down here at lows, and then you have explosions of open interest that push price higher quickly and aggressively for XRP. Even over here, we're below the pre-explosion level, and you can see how this open interest ramped up massively before we even had that level. So lots of ways to go, but we've got a healthy open interest going into this move. So we'll see how this ends up playing, if the degen show up, or will we just get continual spot buying playing out. So with that, we have the Sigma coin, and I zoomed in here just to kind of show you this little price action. We've been expecting this chop view for quite a while now, and you can see from that our RSI stochastic has completely reset and is now looking to cross here on the daily. So this is our daily move with the regular RSI also resetting to mid-range, giving a full reset, but price action hasn't been lost. So this choppiness was expected. We've been talking about it now since March 11th. And this basically is kind of what happened, right? You can see it, I mean, it's not perfect, but the idea being higher lows being set, and just kind of a corrective triangle pattern. So Sigma's been enjoying that consolidation on top of this prior range. Very normal, very expected, and now we just got a full reset with a potential cross. So where are we at here? We got this. We're at 5.16 over 6. We just probably need at least a half a day to a day more for that to play out. So give this another 24, 48 hours. I would expect to finish out this move here by tomorrow or the day after for the 2 days here. Now, this is the 12-hour. We also have the daily completely working on its reset here, almost bottomed out. You can see that we are at a 0.61 on the blue, which is the bullish line, and a 4 here. So that's like really can't go anymore, and there's no sellers left, is what that's telling you. And then this is the one to be just mentally prepared for. This is the 3-day. So the 3-day does have its rollover starting. Doesn't mean it can't be caught halfway through the region, but we don't really have data for how this looked at launch. Back here at the 3 days, we could just see that the RSI came down, and then we can see that 3 days led to this bounce, this bounce, this bounce, and now we're having this rollover happening again. So this may be at least another week, 2 weeks per the 3-day, but I would be more concerned if our daily hadn't bottomed, right, which we have. So now it could stay down here for a while, but we can also just bounce, right? So you see right there, and then bam, and then bam. So this reset is healthy. This is exactly what we wanted, the consolidation that was expected, and if XRP goes, then we're in great shape. So, all right, guys, we will check in tomorrow, but basically, Sigma's looking amazing. Leverage is completely out of the system. Liquidity is to the upside. XRP itself has had a beautiful breakout and is now working on grinding higher off of these lows, hopefully with an entry for people. Otherwise, you just chase. And then finally, the S&P 500 gave us the breakout that we were expecting. Big take back here on the shorter time frames pre-market. So we got a lot of profit taking stepping in. So we're looking for a rounded bottom or a base being built and then a continuation off of that initial candle. So, all right, wonderful. Hopefully that was helpful, and we will check in tomorrow.